Here is a way to think about today, June 29th, that is grounded in both ancient wisdom and quantum physics. And honestly, it might change how you move through the next 12 months. Right now, as I am recording this, Jupiter is entering Leo. There is a full moon in Capricorn and Mercury is retrograde. 3 doors opening at the same time. And most people are going to experience this as chaos, as overwhelm, as what is happening right now. But your future self, she's been waiting for this exact convergence because she knows something about portals that most people do not understand. She knows that the door doesn't just open so you can think about walking through it. It opens so that you can choose. And the choice that you make in the next few days about who you are, about what you're willing to release, about which version of yourself you're aligning with, that choice is going to echo through the rest of 2026. So let's talk about what is actually happening today. Not in the your horoscope says you're gonna meet somebody tall kind of way, but in the way where we look at these energies and what they actually do inside of your nervous system, inside of your brain, and inside of the timeline that you are collapsing towards. I wanna give you the quick map. Because what I want you to understand and what you're actually working with is Jupiter entering Leo today. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It takes what is already true and it magnifies it. And Leo is creative expression, confidence, visibility, the willingness to be seen. So Jupiter entering Leo means that whatever you've been hiding, whatever version of yourself that you've been protecting or keeping small, that is about to become harder to hide. And believe me, I'm feeling this as I am sharing it with you for myself. It's not a punishment, it's an invitation. Jupiter in Leo says that you are ready to be more visible. And it's going to keep expanding the circumstances that ask you to prove it. Full moon in Capricorn today. Full moons are about culmination and release. Capricorn rules structure, discipline, ambition, and the long game. So this full moon is asking you, what identity have you built that you've outgrown? What structure in your life, what belief about what you're capable of, a pattern of shrinking, of way of relating to money or visibility or success, what structure is done? What needs to be released so that the next version of you has room? And Mercury retrograde? Now, I know Mercury retrograde has a reputation, but please keep this in mind. Mercury retrograde is not a punishment either. It's a review. It's an invitation to revisit, rethink, and re-choose. When Mercury retrograde lands on the same day that Jupiter is opening a door and a full moon is asking you to release, this is not an accident. That is a coordinated opening. Your future self already has. She looked at this exact convergence and she said, this is my moment to choose differently. This is my moment to shift timelines. Now, I want you to think about something from quantum physics, because this isn't just astrology. This is a principle in quantum mechanics that's going to help you understand exactly what's available to you today. In quantum physics, particles don't exist in one fixed state until they are observed. Before observation, they exist as a probability field, a wave of possibilities. Schrodinger's cat, the double slit experiment. All of this points to the same thing. Reality at its most fundamental level is not fixed. It is a field of potential. The physicist John Wheeler called it the participatory universe. The idea that the observer doesn't just witness reality, the observer participates in creating it. Right now, your future self exists as probability. She is one of many possible versions of you. She already has the channel. She already has the confidence. She already has the relationship with money and visibility and self-trust that you're reaching for. She exists energetically, quantumly, in the field of what's possible. The question is not how do I create her? The question is what is keeping me from collapsing into her? Because here is what I see over and over in myself and in the women that I work with. We treat these big energetic days like we're supposed to hustle them. Like we need to write 17 pages of intentions or do a 45-minute ritual and somehow force the portal open. But your future self does not do that. She does not hustle. Your future self chooses. And the way that you collapse the timeline towards her is not by doing more. It is by becoming coherent with her. right now, today, in the small choices. Now, I want you to think about your nervous system, because your nervous system is the mechanism through which you either align with your future self or you stay loyal to your past. Your nervous system calls the predictability safety, but your soul sees it as a ceiling. Here is what that means. When Jupiter enters Leo and says, be more visible, be more expressed, take up space, your nervous system has been calibrated to being visible is dangerous. Taking up space got you criticized. Staying small kept me safe. There is a collision. And most people, when they feel that collision, they interpret it as, I'm not ready, or the timing isn't right. I'll do it later when I feel more confident. But that collision is a sign. That discomfort isn't the stop sign, it's the doorway. It's the field of potential saying, you are standing on the edge of one timeline and you're being asked to step into another. And your nervous system, which has been running an old operating system, is going around sounding every alarm. It's going to tell you, this is unsafe. This is unknown. Stay where you are. Protection has a cost when it keeps you from what's possible. So when Jupiter in Leo expands the call to be more visible and you feel your nervous system begin to contract, your future self doesn't interpret that as I'm not ready. Your future self sees that contraction and says, oh, this is the edge. This is where the old version of me stops and I begin. So today, with this full moon in Capricorn, I want to ask you something. What belief did you adopt? Maybe years ago, maybe decades ago, about what you were allowed to want, about how much visibility was safe, about whether you can have both spiritual depth and material success. Because Capricorn energy is about the long game. It is about the structures that you've built, and full moons illuminate what's ready to be released. So if you've built a structure around, I'm the deep spiritual one, I don't care about money, or I'm here to serve, visibility is ego, those are structures. They served you once and they kept you safe, but your future self, she doesn't need them anymore. You made a decision, which means that you can make a different one. And here's where Mercury retrograde becomes your ally. Mercury retrograde says go back, revisit that decision. When did you decide that wanting to be seen was dangerous? When did you decide that spiritual people don't get to be abundant? And when did you decide that your purpose and prosperity could not walk together? Those decisions weren't made by your future self. They were made by a younger version of you who was trying to make sense of a difficult moment. And she did her job. She protected you. But protection has a cost when it keeps you from what's possible. So here is what I want you to do today. Not a 17-step ritual. I want you to pick one thing. Pick one area of your life where you have been hiding. One area where you have been protecting yourself from visibility, from being fully seen. It might be your creative work. It might be your voice. It might be your relationship with money. It might be your willingness to let people really, truly know you. And I want you to notice your nervous system just responded when I said that. Some part of you just tightened. That is the edge. That is exactly where Jupiter in Leo is inviting you to expand. Your future self already has. She's already visible. She is already expressed. She is already holding the prosperity and the depth and the platform and the purpose. And she looked at that same story, the one that says, stay small, stay safe, don't ask for too much. And she said, this is not the whole truth of me. And then she chose again, much like you have chosen to sit here and watch this whole message because it means something to you. Small choices made from alignment collapse the timeline towards the future that you want. So today, make one small choice from her, not from the version of you who's afraid, from her, your future self. What would she post? What would she say yes to? What would she release? Because she's not waiting until she feels ready. She knows that readiness is a decision, not a feeling. So when you're staying focused on that resistance, the fear, the question, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just step forward? You are reinforcing the timeline where you're already stuck. But here's what today is actually offering you. 3 doorways opening at once. Jupiter in Leo saying expand. The full moon in Capricorn saying release what is done. Mercury in retrograde saying revisit and choose. This is not a coincidence. This is intention meeting action, and your future self feels it every time you choose her. This version of you who already has the channel, who already has the confidence, who already has the life that feels aligned and abundant and expressed, she is not a fantasy. She is one of many possible versions of you, and she is closer than you think. Not because the planets are doing the work for you, but because today is the day when the field of possibility is a little bit more responsive, a little bit more open, and a little bit more willing to receive your choice. Your future self already has. And she looked at this exact moment and said, now it's your turn. Hey, before I go, I'm recording this and I'm looking at the number of subscribers on my channel here. I'm at 995 YouTube subscribers. I've been showing up here and sharing this work, showing you the things that have genuinely changed my life, the quantum physics, the nervous system work, the future self activation, and I am 5 people away from being able to take this channel to the next level. 5 people away from being able to invest more into this community, into this content, into the thing that I feel so deeply called to build. So if this video meant something to you, if it landed, if you felt that edge, if you recognized a belief that you're ready to release, this is me asking. Directly, vulnerably, subscribe. Hit the button. Help me get to 1,000, because I believe so deeply that this work matters, that your future self is real, that you choosing her changes everything, and I want to keep making this. I want to keep showing up here, and hitting that milestone actually makes that possible. So if you're ready to meet your future self, and if you want to be a part of this community as it grows, subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends. Let's do this together.